Hey everybody, welcome to the Non-Techie's Guide to make more sales with Facebook ads. 3 secrets every non-techie person needs to know about how to quickly run ads and make sales with Facebook. So, if you are currently spending $1,000 a day on Facebook and making $1 million a year from your Facebook ads, this is obviously not the right webinar for you. However, if you are someone who has been confused by Facebook ads, who's been overwhelmed by Facebook ads, who's lost money on Facebook ads, or who has tried Facebook ads, thrown up your hands in frustration and said, to hell with this webinar is for you. So, there you go. I'm Jim Edwards, your co-host, along with Arlene Battishill, and whom I met at Funnel Hacking Live, but we met on Facebook, so we met in real life too, and we hit it off immediately. Arlene's awesome, and so that's why we are here meeting with you guys, because she totally changed my attitude about Facebook ads and what I thought was really necessary and simplified everything. So we're just going to dive right in right now. So, Arlene, why don't you tell us all about the did you knows of Facebook?
All right. Well, for anybody who is a small business owner, you know that the reality of the world for all of us today is that we have to be online selling. There's no more just waiting for people to walk into a store and buy something from us. We have to go directly to the consumer, and that has to happen now. And part of going to the consumer in the same way that we sell direct to the consumer when we are, in our stores, in our brick and mortar stores, is we have to have a conversation with them because that's part of the sales process. And the reality for anybody who wants to sell online is that the best place to do it is on Facebook. Now, when you consider the fact that there are almost 2 billion people using Facebook every single month, you've got a huge audience that you can go after. And obviously, you aren't going to be chasing after 2 billion people, but the fact that you will have access to 2 billion people is really significant. Now, on this slide, it talks about the number of people who are actually advertising on Facebook at 4 million, but, that number is so small when you consider the number of businesses that are out there in the world. I'm talking the whole world here, relative to the number of people who are using Facebook every month. And 4 million people advertising is just a drop in the bucket. And it means if you're not there, you need to get there because you've got access to a couple of billion people. Why wouldn't you be there? And it's the best place for you to have a conversation with people. The number of people advertising outside of the U.S. is 70%. So take a look. 70% of 4 million are the advertisers outside of the U.S. So if you're, tuning into this webinar from within the U.S., there aren't very many people advertising on Facebook, which means there's a huge opportunity for you and your business to be, generating significant leads and sales as a result of just doing a little bit on Facebook. And we're going to talk to you today about how easy it is to do that. One thing we do know is that a significant number of people are using their mobile devices to access Facebook, and you have the ability to advertise to Facebook users on their mobile devices. And so you've got roughly 57% of the users on Facebook and the ads being directed at those users on mobile. It's a huge opportunity for you out there. There are also some new things coming in terms of being able to advertise directly to people via their mobile devices using Facebook Messenger, which is going to completely transform everything because we're no longer going to have to rely on email marketing to be able to get access to people and get them right now and have to rely on them, opening an email, whereas they're much more inclined to open up their Facebook Messenger. The average Facebook ad click-through rate is at about 9% or a little under
0.9%.
But it's just a little bit under 1% there. Sorry,
but to give a comparison, a great ad on Google AdWords, they're looking for a 0.5% click-through rate. So almost twice the click-through rate of Google AdWords. That's, I think, what's significant there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's also important about this, just as you're thinking about doing Facebook ads, is that if, just in general, especially for people who are using e-commerce sites, if you get anywhere between 0.5% and 1% a click-through rate on your ads, you're golden. I mean, you're going to do business all day long with that kind of a click-through rate. But our goal is to make it so that you have a click-through rate that is actually higher than that, where if you can get a click-through rate upwards of 4 and 5%, oh my God, you're selling all day long. You've got a home run. And then also, just in terms of the cost per click, on average, it's about 64 cents. And so when you consider the traditional forms of advertising that have been used in the past, that's, you know, print and other types of media and television and radio and what have you, it's so unbelievably expensive. But when you get into advertising on Facebook, it's so cheap. I mean, there are some video ads that you can run where it's costing you between 1 and 2 cents for people to actually view those videos. And so, you know, for anybody who is on a limited budget, who doesn't have a lot of time, who really needs to find a way of generating more sales for themselves, Facebook is the place to go because you can reach the most people. And if you do your targeting right, you can do this all very simply. If you just understand a few things, which is what we're talking about today, you're going to spend very little money and you're going to end up generating a lot of sales as a result. So basically, the bottom line is advertising on Facebook is critical to any business's success because that's where the customers are. Everybody's on Facebook. We all know everybody is on Facebook. That's where they're looking at reviews that people are making about products that they've seen. It's where all of the conversation is taking place about anything that's going on in the world. And it's actually a conversation, unlike with Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and all these other social media platforms. Facebook is where people are actually engaging in conversations with one another, and it's the best place for a business or a brand to be able to engage with the consumer. And so this is where you really need to be if you're not there already.
Absolutely. So our promise to you on this webinar is we're going to show you exactly what it takes to get your Facebook ads up and running the right way in record time to make more sales and build your list without losing your precious time trying to crack the code of how to run ads the right way or wasting your hard-earned money on ads that don't work. So we need you to turn off your cell phones, turn off your Facebook, even though we're talking about Facebook. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're serious about getting better results with Facebook ads, the next 60 to 90 minutes are going to change your life. So we sort of introduced ourselves at the beginning a little bit, but Arlene, tell them about us real quick.
All right. Well, obviously, my name is Arlene Battisell, and I'm coming into this world with decades of experience in consumer behavior and consumer targeting. I've got a master's degree and a PhD, and I specialize in how to get people to buy. Between Jim and I, we probably got 40 plus years of selling online. We're both multiple best-selling authors of books, have sold tens of millions of dollars in coaching, software, physical products, ebooks, and more. I was featured on the TV show Shark Tank. I also have
wearing a very strange outfit.
Yes, I was, and I also ride a motorcycle very fast, and actually just came back from riding in the Italian Alps all by myself.
Wow.
And for Jim, he's been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, does half marathons while carrying, I don't know what's wrong with you, Jim. You are crazy, but you know, you do half marathons carrying a backpack filled with 35 pounds of iron, and has been known as the coolest grandpa at age 39. And he also overcame a diagnosis of heart failure at age 44, which is really, really extraordinary. And on the business front, you know, I've gone through the fire because I launched a product at the height of the recession and actually profitably lived to tell about it, which is probably why Jim and I are here today.
There you go.
It was all about Facebook.
So
that's kind of who we are.
That's us. So real quick, audience in the Q&A box, tell us what's your biggest concern, roadblock, or heartburn item when it comes to Facebook ads. We already had somebody putting in a question about problem with geographical targeting and stuff, but what are some things that people, what are just, you know, biggest concern, roadblock, or heartburn? So opt-ins, cost, audience, targeting audience, choosing target audience, spending money, not getting anything back, profitable ads, what copy to use, wasting money, targeting, getting started, everything, everything. cost per click, the tracking pixel, targeting the audience, high impressions but low click-through rates, copy, tracking conversions, targeting, split testing, targeting, understanding insights, looking for clarity, a blueprint to follow, conversions, ditto. There you go. Ad shows to too few people, having the right product, finding winners. What does the audience want? Weak coffee. I have a click-through of 1.6%, but very limited opt-ins. And yes, audience. Facebook can be very bizarre about certain targets like medical conditions. All the above. Is there still effectiveness with Facebook ads? Organizing ads. How to target for a local audience-based event. Update changes. Application process. Brick and mortar. Budget for advertising costs. How to make them effective. Holy crap. And I missed at least 3/4 of them.
Jim, what's really interesting about everything you're saying in the list, because I'm not able to see the list, I'm just hearing you reading it off in the same way everyone else is hearing this. And what's really extraordinary about this is that everything that we're about to cover in this webinar probably addresses 95% of what everyone just talked about. So this is really unbelievable.
I'm going to make you an organizer so you can see the questions and stuff. Sorry about that.
Brilliant.
That's
okay,
my
brilliant. No worries.
That was my thing. So you should be able to see the Q&A and stuff too. But I'm sorry I didn't hit everybody's thing, but it just, I'm be honest with you. I've been doing webinars since 2006, and I've asked this question before, what's your biggest concern or roadblock or whatever before about a whole lot of stuff. And I have never seen an explosion of pent up anxiety just coming through the Q&A ever. Seriously. So definitely
it's crazy.
We're going to hit as much as we can. So tell them what they can expect real quick, Arlene, or imagine what your life will be like when.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything that you all have just listed here, this is the reality of what it's been like for everybody advertising on Facebook for years. And, people go through all these training programs and they're being taught how to do this and that, click here, click there, and all this kind of crap. And they never end up getting the results that they need. They get frustrated. They don't know what to do different. Everything that you've talked about are the same issues that everybody has. And what we want to leave you with today is basically for you to be able to imagine what your life is going to be like when you've got your Facebook ads up and running the right way to make more sales and build your list so that you can stop trying to crack the code of how to run ads the right way. You can stop wasting your hard-earned money on ads that don't work. And what will life be like when you can cut through all the BS and know exactly what it takes to run profitable ads on Facebook, even if you've tried before and fallen flat on your face? And I think that for most business owners, this is the reality of what's going on for them. And they need a really fast and easy way for them to just start running Facebook ads that are going to be productive for them. And it just means they need to know a few basic things, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yep. And specifically about Facebook ads, why should they listen to us?
Well, one of Jim's websites spends $25,000 to $30,000 a month on Facebook ads with a 3-to-1 return on investment. I'm one of the most highly sought after internet Facebook advertising consultants, so with my hourly rate of $500. And all the insider secrets we're going to share with you today come directly from us actually doing it on Facebook every single day with both our time and money in the game. And when you've got skin in the game, you do things very, very differently from people who are just trying to teach you how to do stuff, because we've learned what works and what doesn't work in a real life environment in both of our respective businesses.
There you go. And somebody just asked a funny question. They said, hey, Jim, what made you become a believer in Facebook? This was not always the case, right? And the answer to that is absolutely. I typed back correct until we started making money, smiley face. So, that I hated Facebook ads for a long time because I couldn't make it work. And then when we finally got it working, specifically selling a specific piece of software, then I became a big believer. So I wish I had known this stuff before. So what we're going to cover, secret number one, you only have to know how to do a short list of things correctly to succeed with Facebook ads. Secret number two, there's only one objective you need to worry about it when it comes to driving traffic and sales with Facebook ads. And secret number three, you only need about $20 to know if an ad is going to work or not. So those are the three biggies we're going to hit. So secret number one, you only have to know how to do a short list of things correctly to succeed with Facebook ads. And this secret is all about the fact that you don't have to know everything to be successful with Facebook ads. And was part of my problem in the past when I was trying to do this, like most entrepreneurs, thinking that you have to know every single detail about how Facebook ads work before you run your first ad. And actually, you only have to know how to do a very short list of things correctly to succeed with Facebook ads. So what do we mean? And Arlene, why don't you tell them what we mean?
All right. Well, this is where people go off the rails. Most people think that you have to understand all the different campaign types. Because when you go in and try and run a Facebook ad, you start out with determining what kind of campaign you need. Well, there's actually only one that you need, and it will take care of about 99% of what it is that you're trying to do on Facebook. You don't need to have 50 different ads done to split test. If you've got the right ad, there's no split testing that needs to be done. You don't need 12 different pictures, and you don't need to target a lot of people to be successful. 1 million targets is not necessary. You only need one really good targeted ad, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Now, we're going to jump right into the whole business of Facebook ads now, and this is part of, just a few things that you need to know. But before you have a really good targeted ad, there's two things here, really. You have to have a great looking ad, meaning the image is the most important part of any ad before you get into the targeting. Because the key here is when you think about this, even you yourself as the consumer using Facebook, you're scrolling through your news feed on your phone or on your desktop or on your tablet, and you scroll, and there are ads going by your face the whole time. Now, what is it that gets you to stop scrolling through your news feed? You're not reading a bunch of text. You're actually looking at something that gets you to stop scrolling through your news feed. So the first thing you need to understand is the most important thing you're going to need right up front is the right kind of image that is going to get people to stop scrolling through their news feed. And that image does not necessarily have to have anything to do with what you're selling. So let's go ahead.
Let me ask you one quick question, because this was a big thing for me. The way I used to do my ads was I would write all the ad copy first, and then after I'd exhausted myself writing the copy, then I would go looking for a picture. And at that point, the picture was like, let me just find a frickin' picture. And picked it without really thinking things through. And the wrong order, because what you were doing in that, Jim, was you were so busy thinking about what you were trying to sell that you were never even considering what's going on for the consumer, meaning the consumer is out there just scrolling through their news feed. And you could spend a lifetime trying to write the best copy. Well, you can write the best copy in about 2 seconds. That much I know about you, Jim. So we all know that about you. The wizard when it comes to writing copy. But the reality is you can have the best copy in the world, but if people just scroll right past your ad, nobody's read anything. You could have the best landing page. You could have the best email sequence. You could have the best product in the world. But if you cannot get people to stop scrolling through their news feed, you're dead in the water. Yeah. You have nothing to offer them. So what you must do first and foremost is you've got to get the right ad image. And I'm going to show you a few images here where if you start with the image itself, you can get all kinds of ideas for what to do with that image in terms of the messaging. But it is the image that has to get them to stop scrolling through their news feed. So let's take a look at an image that has been hugely successful in ads that I've run. Now, you could literally sell just about anything with this image. And shampoo.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Hair salons. And the caption, the headline that you might use for this is having a bad hair day. And, you use an image like this because it's funny. It's completely unexpected, and it may have absolutely nothing to do with what it is that you are trying to sell. I mean, you could even have a caption that says, "Are you finding yourself in the wrong place?" And, there are all kinds of captions that you can play with for an image like this. But I guarantee you use an image like this that is so completely unexpected. It's not the lion out in the wild. It's that this lion is wearing a wig. And so you could come up with some kind of a caption, a headline, to use this as the basis of getting people to stop scrolling through their news feed. And I guarantee you, this has stopped people scrolling in their news feeds more often than I can tell you. And I have generated a higher click-through rate using this one silly little image than anything I've ever used before. Now,
it's funny. It's funny though, in traditional print advertising, what typically stops the people is the headline, and then they'll look at the picture and they'll read the caption under the picture. But now we need to have that picture as the very first thing.
Right, because you have to remember that people are scrolling very quickly, especially on mobile devices. It's like people looking at their Instagram feeds. They're just scrolling through, waiting to see if they see something of interest. And then they keep moving, which is why you have to have an image that's really compelling.
Right.
Now, this next one, I absolutely love this. This is actually one of my favorite images, and it can be used for pretty much anything. Now, this is an image that's used to sell mascara. But, I mean, when you think about this image says absolutely everything and can say a whole lot about a lot of things. So, for example, if you were not using this to sell mascara, you might be using this for somebody who has psychotherapy services, or it could be retailers who are providing retail therapy to make yourself feel better. So,
or a fiction book.
Yeah, fiction books or self-help books. I mean, this statement right here, that's the headline right there. It's right on the image. And notice the background is completely blank.
Yep.
Only in this case, the image is being used, obviously, to show mascara. And the idea is that you don't want your mascara running when you find out that the guy you're madly in love with is married.
Right.
Okay. So this is another image that has been hugely successful.
Somebody just asked about what about the 20% rule? This text doesn't take up over 20% of the image. So
that is correct. And so what you do is on Facebook there is a tool, and you can Google this tool where it's Facebook ad tool, and there will be a link there that will take you directly to the place on Facebook where you can upload your image, and it will tell you whether or not it has exceeded the 20% text rule. So in this case, based on my looking at this, this would not exceed the 20% rule.
Yeah.
Now, if we go to the next image, I like this one a lot, and this was for IKEA. And why does it work? It's funny. It's a play on words. It makes you think that the seller is clever. And, here it is. We're playing with, want it, a one-night stand, as if this is a personal ad. And there you have it. There's one nightstand. And depending on the emphasis of the words, it's either one night stand or one nightstand. And so I find this to be really super clever. And so this is something that will get people to stop scrolling through their news feeds. Going on to the next one, Jim, I really like this one a lot because it's very, very compelling. In this case, there's the caption. It says, "Time is running out for the polar bear," and the polar bear is inside, this place where the time really is running out, where the sand is going through, and pretty soon the polar bear is going through. And why does it work? It shows that time is running out. It shows that one individual bear is about to go extinct. The face on the bear is in distress. It pretty much works for any business that's trying to get people to be aware of how urgent issues are. And so when you are looking for images, you want to look for things that you can make a statement. And you can use this image for pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be about the polar bear. It's just clear that time is running out. And so when you are looking for images, what you're thinking is, okay, what is going to be provocative and compelling enough to get people to stop and look at it? Because in a sense, what's going on in people's brains is they're so used to looking at everything being the same thing. That's why they keep scrolling through stuff. That's why so many Facebook ads don't work, because they're seeing the same products over and over again. They're still seeing the same sales pitch over and over again. They never see anything
Different.
that is even remotely interesting to them or different. And what you need in your Facebook ads is for something to be different.
And just as an aside, with a picture like this, I like the hourglass, but I couldn't use the polar bear. Okay, genius, you go over to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and if I said two E's, I meant one E. Fiverr plus an extra R.com, and you can hire somebody, show them an hourglass, show them the thing you want in the top, hire somebody to make you a picture with the thing in the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So don't get hung hung up on that mechanically.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the reality of creating stuff like this is really quite simple. So you don't have to be feeling like you have to have Photoshop skills or any of that kind of crap. This stuff can be done for $5 on Fiverr. But the key is you have to really be thinking about, I've got to come up with an image that's going to get people to stop scrolling through their newsfeed. Because if I don't, whatever it is that I'm writing in the text or in the headline, whatever it is that I'm selling, I'm never going to have a chance to sell, because people are just going to scroll right through that news feed.
Yeah.
So the bottom line here is a great ad is always going to start with the picture. And then the next thing that happens is, what are you doing with your targeting? Because, you know, we have to write the ad and everything, but a lot of times the ad gets written based on who it is that we're targeting. And so we have to think about, who is the audience that we want to target with this ad that's designed to get people to stop scrolling through their news feed. The effective target is, who is it that makes the most sense to buy your product? And it's not by going after millions of people and trying to do everything all at once. And let me give you just a very, very quick example that wasn't planned. So, Jim, please forgive me for this real quick.
Sure.
But let me talk to you real quick about targeting. And this is about what happened when I was on the TV show Shark Tank. I had a product that I went on the show with that had an average sales price of $250. Now, that is not a discretionary purchase. That is something that people really have to think about. If you're on Shark Tank and you have a product that costs $20, people don't think twice about it. But I had something that the average price was $250. Now, the first time my episode aired on Shark Tank, there were literally 6 million people who watched that episode that night. So you would think, oh my God, you're on national television. You had 6 million see your product. 6 million people see your product. You must have sold millions and millions of dollars worth of product.
Nope.
Well, the reality is, 6 million people saw my product, and they were all the wrong people. They were not buyers of the product that I had to offer. And out of 6 million people, I think I sold $8,000 worth of product in the 2 weeks I was on, in the 2 weeks after I was on Shark Tank. And so that's where your targeting becomes so critical. You really have to understand who you're looking for and who is most likely to want to buy your product. And so that's where we move in to this next part.
That's a great point. So secret number 2 is, there's only one objective you need to worry about when it comes to driving traffic and sales with Facebook ads. So this secret is all about the fact that you'll make more money if you know your audience and you keep it simple. Most entrepreneurs think that you need to have an elaborate setup with a million moving parts to make this quote unquote Facebook ad thing work. And actually, there's only one objective you need to worry about when it comes to driving traffic and sales with Facebook ads. So what do we mean?
Now, this is where it gets really tricky for everybody, and they get confused about it, and they've learned lots of things from other people, and they don't actually even understand what any of this stuff is. Now, if you have ever run Facebook ads before, you will know that the first thing that happens when you click on that little button that says create an ad is that it takes you to a page that shows you all of the options available to you for your campaign objective. And you'll see them all right here: the brand awareness, local awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, conversion, product catalog sales, store visits. And by this time, you want to stick a fork in your eye because you can't figure out what you're supposed to be doing. This is what happens to everybody when they first start running an ad, because the Facebook ad manager is not set up in a way that is actually intuitive for the normal person who's just running a business and trying to run a freaking ad. It's set up by software designers who are not really thinking about, how easy is it to use. They think about, what does it look like? And that's a huge problem. And if you're just trying to get to a point where you can run an ad, there's only one thing you have to worry about, and that is traffic. What you need is traffic, because think about this. If you're a business and you're trying to generate sales, or you're trying to capture email addresses so that you can continue marketing to people over a longer period of time, what do you need? You need traffic. You don't need video views. You don't need conversions. You don't need local awareness. You don't need all this other crap. What you need is traffic.
From
Why?
the right
Because
people.
it produces from the right people, absolutely. That goes without saying. You have to have the right people, but you need the traffic because you are trying to sell something to people. Well, you have to go get people and make sure they know that you're there. And we are looking at only this one objective, being traffic for your campaign, because it produces the best results. It's the fastest way for you to generate leads. It's the easiest one to use, and it gets you the most bang for your buck. So here's the deal. You get traffic, you drive it somewhere, meaning a landing page or a website, and then you get all these people that you start marketing to via email, and somewhere in there people are likely to be buying from you. So you really only need, this is really simple. It's a secret. Well, it's not a secret. It's just common sense. You need traffic, so that's the only campaign objective that you need.
But the one that most people think is, I need conversions. I need, especially people that use like funnel scripts or any of those, or ClickFunnels, that kind of thing. Most people think, oh, well, I need more book sales. I need conversions. I need opt-ins. Why are we not using any of these other options besides just straight traffic?
That is such a great question, Jim. And this is a big problem for most people because they are not actually understanding what the word conversions means. Because in the world of the small business owner, the entrepreneur, when you think about conversions, you're thinking about sales.
Yeah.
You're thinking that,
sales or opt-ins.
Yeah, exactly. If I have a Facebook objective of conversions, that must mean that now Facebook's going to go out and help me sell. Well, that is not at all what is going on. And this is where you can find yourself spending way more money on your Facebook ads than you need to. And it's because the conversions, well, okay, let me say this. Okay, people think that this is the one to get people to buy from you, okay? The reality is what it really means is that Facebook is only analyzing who is clicking on your ad and delivering the same type of people to see that ad. And it's actually more expensive and takes longer because Facebook has to do your job of figuring out who your audience is. Now, let me try and say that to you in another way. Here's the deal. If you select conversions, what you are saying to Facebook is, Facebook, I really don't know who my target audience is. I can't quite figure out who's the best person to buy my product. So I'm just going to select a big giant group of people and start running my ads. And I'm going to let you, Facebook, try and figure out among all those people, in many cases millions, among all those people out there, those millions of people that I'm running these ads to and spending all this money every single day, I'm going to let you try and figure out who's the best person to show the ad to. And it's all based on who is clicking on the ad. But when you think about it, if you're running a conversion ad, it means typically the ad size, meaning the target audience size, is so big that you're just saying to Facebook, okay, I can't even figure out who to show my ad to. I'm going to let you do it because you can find me some conversions. Well, that is not at all how it works, unless, for example, you are an ad agency with a gigantic budget. Because what it means is you're probably going to have a budget of, maybe $25,000 or $250,000 a month that you're spending. That's not your money. That's an agency's budget on behalf of some client. And they will run ads over a long period of time, just hoping and praying when they throw something against the wall, it's going to stick. And then suddenly we'll have some sense of who the consumer is for this product. Well, you as a small business owner, let's say you've only got $10 a day that you can spend on your ads. Well, if you're targeting 1 million people and you're using the conversions as your objective, you're just saying to Facebook, okay, go find me the people that are in this group that make the most sense to show the ads to. And then they'll sit there and Facebook will be running the ads every single day. And then sooner or later, you'll start getting people clicking on your ads. And then Facebook will say, oh, okay, well, we've got 50 people who clicked on this ad. Now we're going to look at the profiles of all those people and look at everybody else in that million and go find more of those people. But do you have any idea how long it will take Facebook to find the right people? This is why your targeting is so critical in all of this and why it translates into such lower cost of advertising. So this very thing right here of what your campaign objective is, you need to make sure that you're getting the right objective right from the start. And that objective is traffic. And it is the only one you need for probably 99% of what it is that you're going to be doing going forward. So, you know, the reality is Facebook has to figure out what's going on before they can get you the right people to show up. And if you do traffic as your objective and target your audience the right way, you're going to spend significantly less money and get better results. And this is something that everybody just is completely confused about when they get into deciding what kind of objective to use for their campaign, because the word conversion is where everybody gets basically sent down a path where they're thinking they're going to get leads and sales, and that's not at all what that objective is designed to do. It's simply to better analyze your target audience. But if you start with a target audience that is right from the get-go, you don't need Facebook to do anything for you.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. So let me feed that back to you real quick. And let me tell.
Sorry, Jim. I got really passionate about.
Well, you started going off, and I realized, hey, she's talking about stuff on the next slides, and I was like, damn, I'm not keeping up. But sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Let me just parrot this back to you so I understand, because it's kind of a fine line thing, but it's a huge deal. If you do conversions, basically what you're saying to Facebook is, Facebook, you figure out who's going to buy this from me. And I'm willing to pay you a whole bunch of money in order for you to do this. And the average entrepreneur, the individual person, doesn't have a deep enough pocket for a big enough filter, a big enough bunch of people to go through for that actually to even get done. And
exactly
what you're saying is we need to target people correctly from the beginning, only use the traffic option, and our targeting is what is going to let us know that whether or not an ad is going to work or not Facebook filtering through everybody and their brother to see if that is the case, right?
Yes, precisely. And the reason that is the case, where you don't want to be letting Facebook make those decisions for you, is because Facebook, in its computer programs, its algorithms, will often be incorrect in the way that they are analyzing a target audience, which is why you're targeting for yourself, and you knowing and understanding who your audience is going to be most critical in everything that you're doing in your Facebook advertising. And we'll come to that a little bit more in a second.
Let me just ask you one more quick question, and I know we're saving questions till the end and stuff, and there are a ton of questions coming in, but somebody said, can't you target with using conversions? In other words, can't you, and somebody just said Facebook is designed to take the most of your money. That's true. They want to make the most off you that they can. But how is targeting, getting your target on, how is getting your audience targeted well and using traffic as the objective different than targeting your audience just as well and using conversion as the objective? Why would you do one or the other? I'm not sure I'm making sense, but hopefully I am.
It's because running ads using the traffic objective is less expensive than running ads using the objective of conversions. You basically have to treat the conversions objective as premium pricing.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
you don't want to do that because
Okay.
because here's the thing. If you start with the exact same target audience and you use either traffic or conversions as your objective, you will pay more to target the exact same audience using conversions than traffic.
Got it. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So let's go into secret number 3. You only need about $20 to know if an ad will work or not. And this secret is all about the fact that you don't have to spend a fortune to run ads or get traffic on a consistent basis. Most entrepreneurs think that running ads on Facebook is really expensive and those ads don't often work, or if they do work, it takes a long time to get results and costs a lot of money to actually keep them running. And actually, you only need about $20 to know if an ad will work or not. What do we mean?
Okay. So this business about it not costing a fortune. As a rule for me, when I'm running Facebook ads, I will spend in the very beginning, I will spend only $10 a day, and I will test my ads over a period of 2 to 3 days. Now, the reason the ad costs a lot for most people is they're doing one of two things. And this is where people lose a lot of money on Facebook advertising and feel like it's not working for them and they're wasting all this money. The reality is either you are not targeting the right audience for your message, or you're not presenting the right message to the audience that you're targeting. Now, let me say that one more time. If you've got an ad and you're targeting the wrong people, you are going to spend significantly more time trying to locate somebody within that wrong audience to get them to click on your ad. And so the targeting makes all the difference in the world. Now, if you have the right targeting but the wrong message, then you're screwed once again, because here you're trying to pick off just a few people within the audience that makes the most sense, but then you got the message wrong. And so the targeting and the messaging do go together, but ultimately you can be a little off in your messaging if you've got the right audience. Okay? So let me say this another way. You're not looking at the right people, or you're saying the wrong thing to the right people, and you keep spending money hoping that the problem's going to fix itself. The idea is kind of like, well, if I just keep running the ad longer and longer, it will magically start working. And the reason that people do this and think this is because they actually don't know what to do to change it. They don't know exactly why their ad isn't working or why it's costing so much money and they aren't getting people clicking, or they aren't getting people to opt in to their landing page, or they aren't getting people to buy things. And so what you find out within the first couple of days by spending only $10 a day is, for $20 in 2 days, you start with a target audience and you've got your messaging and you see whether or not it's working for you. And if after, 48 hours it's not working, stop it. Don't keep doing more of it or spend more money. That's what people think is, oh, well, I guess I need to spend more money to reach more people.
But
well,
they also,
after $20 and
if they buy into the, well, Facebook's trying to find people to convert for me, and they've been taught, this is what gets taught to people. You need to keep running the ads so Facebook can dial in the people who will buy from you. So you need to give it long enough for them to find the people who will buy or convert. That's another thing that people are taught.
And by then you go broke.
You spend a crap load of money.
And by then you go broke. Yeah, you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars doing that. And I'm about to give you an example of exactly how this works. So this is an example of how you end up targeting the wrong people. And people do this all the time in their targeting. And I know at the outset, Jim, with many of the people who answered your question about what their biggest problem is, targeting seems to be the number one issue.
Yeah.
And what what typically happens is people go into Facebook and they select a bunch of things, and then they start targeting the interest.
And they start trying to get up to 1 million people. That's the other thing that people are talking. You got to get at least 100,000 or 1 million people in order to run an ad. So keep adding those interests and keep adding the crap until you've got 1 million people.
Yeah, and they're completely wrong about that. The goal is actually to get the audience as small as possible, because then you have a very precisely targeted audience that is going to be productive for you. Now, let me tell you very quickly about this guy. Okay, the guy's in the UK. He is running a webinar for some $4,000 training program to teach people how to sell currency. And it's on something called the Forex exchange, or I don't even know what the heck this thing is. All I know is that this guy spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, and he got exactly 4 people to opt into this webinar where he was trying to sell a $4,000 training program. So the guy calls me up and he says, Arlene, I just don't know what the problem is. Everything seems to be fine. And I said, well, let me take a look at your targeting. And the problem is he started out with a target audience of 1.6 million people. And the reason he had the wrong audience is because he decided that he should target everybody who was interested in all the mutual funds, like Charles Schwab and E-Trade, Scottrade, and TD Ameritrade. It's all that crap that you see people advertising on TV. And you would think, oh, well, those are people who have money. They've got money invested, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Well, what he was selling was a training program for people who do all of their own investments themselves. They do their own trading. They're not buying mutual funds, which is what Schwab and the rest of them are selling. They do the trading themselves, and they do trading on a daily basis. And so what this guy's doing is he's targeting all these people who have mutual funds, which means, if you have a mutual fund, you're relying on somebody else to do the investing for you, or you put your money in a mutual fund that is spread across multiple companies so that you spread your risk. Well, for the Forex people who are trading this currency and stuff, they're in there trading by the second. So here's this guy targeting 1.6 million mutual fund users instead of the people who are doing day trading. And so what ends up happening is that he's now targeting completely the wrong audience, but he thought, well, those people are interested in investing. No, dude, that's the wrong audience. And so when I went back and looked at what his targeting was and needed to be, we actually reduced his total audience to just those people who were interested in day trading and Forex and other types of training and online, learning that has to do with you doing the investment yourself. And we ended up with an audience of only 13,000 people. And everybody would say, oh, well, that's not enough people. You need to be targeting 1 million people, blah, blah, blah. Well, get a load of the results. He called me not 24 hours later and said to me, Arlene, I can't believe this. I spent less than $100 in ads overnight, and I had 400 people sign up for that webinar in the last 24 hours. So his choice was to target 1 million plus people and spend tens of thousands of dollars and get 4 people to sign up versus spending less than $100 in ads and have 400 people sign up for a webinar within 24 hours where he was going to be selling a lot of his $4,000 program.
There you go.
And that is what goes on with your targeting. But you can see how he thought, okay, well, these people invest, therefore they would be interested in this. But if you don't understand the nature of the people who are investing and what's motivating them, people who buy mutual funds are people who don't want to invest their money. They want it invested, but don't want to have to do it themselves. Now, let me give you another example here. A woman comes to me and she's having a hard time selling products. These were physical products that were for people who were in the horse business, that were professional breeders. Okay, so she's, selling horse-related products for professional breeders, but ends up targeting people who are only interested in horses.
But I bet there was 1 million of them.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. And she wasted a ton of money on her advertising because she was going to the wrong people. Now, let me tell you just some examples of what was in her targeting. And she was specifically targeting women who were in the professional breeding business for horses. So here's how she targets it. She goes and targets the interest as follows: horses, small and medium enterprises, women in business, horse trainers, the animals, Equine Photographers Network, horse breeding, horse tech, equine nutrition, equine massage, equine horse racing. Oh my God, she had millions of people that she was advertising to. Now, let me help you understand what is so wrong with this particular targeting. Think about this for a minute. If somebody has expressed an interest in horse racing, do you think those people are interested in horse breeding?
No.
Or people who are professional horse breeders? Do you think someone who's expressed an interest in horses is a professional breeder of horses?
Maybe.
Not likely.
But you'll have to spend a lot of money with Facebook narrowing it down for you on the conversions option.
Right, because there's millions. Yeah. Exactly, because there's millions. Then you've got the interest, the animals. Okay, how many millions are there? Then we've got women in business. Okay, targeting women in business, in what way does that have anything to do with female professional horse breeders and small and medium business enterprises?
Well, maybe she thought that was people who were also interested in horses, or maybe there would be some overlap. You know what I mean? I can see that, thinking that hey, let me target horses and women who are in small businesses, and that's magically going to give me people who are women who operate horse businesses. I mean, I could see how someone would think that.
Yes, and where we've got the issue here is that when you are using interests, if you're not careful, what she effectively did here was use all of these interests, but these are mutually exclusive, because what Facebook is saying is, okay, we'll look for anybody who's interested in horses, or small and medium enterprises, or women in business, or horse trainers, and so forth. And so if you're not careful about how you are setting up your targeting in Facebook, you're going to go off the rails, because there is a technical problem with the way that you have actually set up your targeting. So those are just two examples of how people have, spent way too much money on advertising that they never needed to spend in the first place.
So how'd you get her straight? How'd you get her straight?
We just got rid of a bunch of the things that were making her audience size in the millions, and reduced it down to just those interests that made the most sense, like horse trainers. Those people are associated with people who are doing horse breeding. And so we reduced the audience size to probably about 10,000 people, and she did just bang up business in terms of what she was selling to them. But that was after she had spent all of that money, not understanding that she started out completely in the wrong. So basically, how to tell if you're targeting the wrong people? Well, you need to understand who's going to use your product based on more than just an interest. This is where we go one step further. This is how we start piecing together a picture of who the person is that we want to be targeting. So it's not just an interest. It's what is it about them, or something that they've bought in the past that indicates that they would be interested in buying your product. And this goes to exactly how people approach targeting. Now, this is where you're going to go off the rails, and this is what most people do. So let's say, for example, you're going to target a product to, let's say, a fancy handbag. You're going to target a product to women in LA age 25 to 34 who are interested in Mercedes-Benz. Okay, well, that doesn't tell us what she's likely to buy. What do we know about her versus what we were inferring about her? What else can we know about her? Do we need to, or what else do we need to know about her? It would be helpful to know the kind of things that she's bought in the past, because if we want to sell her a luxury purse, just because she's between the ages of 25 and 34, lives in LA, and is interested in Mercedes-Benz, does not give us an indication that she's actually capable of buying that luxury purse. So what we want to know is that she's interested and capable of buying based on past behavior and other characteristics. And where people have the biggest problem in their targeting is that they just stop at the gender, the age, where a person is located, and what they've expressed an interest in on Facebook, meaning they've clicked like on some Facebook page. And some people don't even include the interest. They just do targeting based on what we call the demographics.
But that's how we were we were trained to do it. That's what all these courses out here tell you. Go in and you pick people over the age of 18 or 25, men and women, living in the United States, and they like at least one thing or one person, and there you go. There's your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why people end up using website conversions as the basis for their campaign objectives, because they're starting with this enormous population, like, women in LA between the ages of 25 and 34. Oh my God, there's probably 10 million of them there. And so you would think, okay, well, some of them are interested in buying a luxury purse. Well, which of them do you want? How much money do you have to spend on trying to locate that woman who wants to buy that? And so here's how you tell if you're getting at the right person or whether or not you're missing the mark. Now, the woman in the last example, we have to figure out whether or not she's capable of buying this expensive purse and whether or not she's bought these items in the past. And there is a feature in Facebook Ads Manager that addresses behavior, and that's purchase behavior. And you can go in there and locate purchase behavior, very specific types of purchase behavior that you can tie with her interests that will tell you, yes, she is predisposed to buy this luxury purse from us, okay? Now, when we get into talking about selling this purse to this woman that lives in LA that's expressed an interest in Mercedes-Benz, and let's say what we've discovered in the behaviors is that, she's got credit cards from, high-end luxury stores, that like Bloomingdale's or Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue, that would give us some indication that, yes, she's been buying stuff in the past of a luxury nature. Now, where people get into trouble with their ads is they instantly start talking about the features and the benefits, the facts and the figures of buying something instead of focusing on the real reason that people buy things. And that has everything to do with their emotions. And so if we want to sell this woman, once we've discovered that, yes, in fact, she is a likely candidate for this purse, if we want to sell her an expensive handbag, we don't talk about, oh, it's got this many pockets and these zippers and there's this strap and it's water resistant, blah, blah, blah. She's not interested in that. And most people sell their products based on the facts and figures, features and benefits. No, that's not what people care about. They care about the emotional need that they are meeting by buying a particular product, or they have a particular problem they're trying to solve, or they're trying to ease their pain in some way. Now, here's this woman. We know that she's capable of buying this purse, but she's capable of buying a lot of purses. So how do we get her to buy our purse? And so what we say instead of the features and, facts and figures, features and benefits, is that what we have to get at is this is the bag she's been coveting for a year. That this is the bag she's been desperate for. This is a bag that's going to make all of her girlfriends jealous. This is the bag that every woman who sees her is going to want. And when you talk about that product in that way, that has absolutely nothing to do with the bag, but instead you're talking about, oh my God, she's wanted this bag for so long. She's so desperate for it. She's going to make her girlfriends jealous when they see her Friday night when she goes out to the club. And anyone who sees that bag is going to be salivating over it. I mean, what does that have to do with the bag? Nothing. It has everything to do with you talking to her in a way that she feels that your bag is the bag she has to have. Because the reality is, very few people talk about products in this way. And if you can figure out how to talk about your product in a way that ties directly to how someone is feeling emotionally, you're going to sell all day long and you're going to beat your competitors all day long, because people buy based on their emotion and they use their brain to help justify that they're going to make that purchase. Now, let me show you some examples of ads that have actually run and the results, how much you've spent, what kind of activity was on the ad, and how much money you generate it. So here's an ad that I've run in the past. This is how you do it right. Now, in this case, this was a video ad. And this particular population are women who ride motorcycles who hate looking like football players because they're wearing big and ugly protective clothing. And in this case, what you see is a woman who's wearing what look like a pair of leggings or just a regular pair of pants. Those are actually protective pants for women who ride. And so the caption here says, double the protection, complete coverage for your legs. Why accept anything less? Now, that's really important to this particular consumer. And this video, the most important thing to consumers of this product is that this thing works because it's all about safety. So here's the caption. It says, don't believe the Go-Go Gear Kevlar leggings will protect your legs in a crash? Take a look and see proof that they do. Double protection for your legs, free shipping. Why go to a store when you can just order? Have them delivered and try on now. Get them now. Check out the ad. The ad had 2,100 people at least see the beginning of this ad. And this ad reached only 6,600 people. It was only shown to 6,600 people. And the total ad spend was less than $100. And down below here, what you see is it generated $6,000 in revenue. And I think this ad only ran for a day or two. Now, let's go on to the next one. Check this out. Here's another ad for the exact same product. And it says exactly what the product is so people understand what they're looking at, because they're not expecting a pair of pants or a pair of leggings to be something that's going to protect them. So the language that's being used here is very important. And notice down below at the bottom of the ad, how many comments, how many shares, how many likes. This was very effective. How do you protect your legs when you ride? Finally, an answer that works for women. Women have a problem when it comes to protecting their legs, and here's the answer. So check this out. Almost 1,000 clicks on this ad. It reached almost 50,000 people, and the ad spend was less than $1,000, just a bit over $900, and we generated $16,682 in sales off of this one ad, and I think this ad ran for maybe 4 days. This is how you do ads that make sense. You're talking to the consumer. These ads were targeting specifically the people that made sense for this particular product. Now, Jim, I know you've got a few things coming up too. Why don't you run through those?
Sure. And the big thing I just want to say is there's no crazy jujitsu here. It's all the combination of everything that we've talked about. It's the right image to stop them. It's the right targeting. It's the right message. This is stuff all of you guys can do. Now, to show you the difference between just the big difference that a picture can make, here's one I ran I did a split test. And this was going for opt-ins for a webinar. So are you a best-selling author yet was the question. Make your book a bestseller too, with a picture of a champagne bottle. And then everything, make any book an Amazon bestseller in 72 hours, which is absolutely true. I can show anybody how to do that. It showed to 990 people, got 20 clicks. Average cost was $27. So same 27 cents a click, sorry. $5.46 was the total amount spent. So look at this next one. The only difference in the ad is the picture. So talk about appealing to somebody emotionally. Okay, make your book a bestseller too. That's the only difference was the picture. So this one had 626 link clicks, reached 12,000 people, cost of 17 cents. So I spent $100 and I more than made my money back with getting the people on. I didn't track with Facebook the revenue or anything, but because this was an opt-in thing. But look at the difference in just the picture. So here's another one. This was for a public speaking course that I did with one of my partners. So here's one. This one got 1 click. Reached 243 people. That click cost me $1.85. And this is the thing. You don't have to run it forever, guys, to know that something is, poop in the bed, as they say. Here's same exact.
Jim, let me interject something right here. For all of you who are looking at this image, go back one, Jim, if you would, please. when you look at this image, I mean, just think about this as yourself as a consumer. You're looking at this guy, he's talking into a microphone, and he's got his hand raised. He just looks like he's at some kind of meeting. Who gives a crap? There's nothing about this that resonates with people emotionally. But then we go into the next one.
What I was trying to do, though, again, this is, looking at the picture, this is when I first started to learn about, you start with the picture. And so I was looking for pictures that would stop people. And this stopped me. When I was scrolling through a bunch of pictures that had to do with public speaking, this one stopped me. This one stopped me too. This lady, and look at the difference. Okay, 261 people reached, 15,000 people reached, 523 clicks, reached 13,000 for the paid, 19 cents a click. So for $97, 523 link clicks. This was going to an automated webinar. So look at the difference, though, just with that picture.
And Jim, just to note, there is something for you to understand with the pictures is that the more visually compelling they are, just in terms of the color themselves, the one is all brown in the background. The one with the woman is, look at the bright and vibrant and dynamic colors that are being used in the background. Of course, that got people to stop scrolling because, I mean, you can just tell between the two images that which one was going to be the big winner.
Yeah, but you never really know which one's going to be the big winner until you test.
Right, absolutely. You have to test it. But, I mean, just in looking at what you've got going on here, as I see these two pictures next to each other, the thing that strikes me most is the color that's being used in the background. And once again, if you've got people scrolling through the news feed, there are things that just jump out at you right away that show that you get really different results with really simple tweaks to an ad.
Right. Somebody said, come on, one was some old man and the other was a beautiful young woman. Nice.
I didn't want to be sexist, but there you go.
There you go. So, but that shows you the difference, though, for going for opt-ins. And if you're those of you who are trying to do automated webinars or trying to get people to get on your list and stuff, huge difference, and not spending a ton of money in order to get that done. So,
absolutely.
Why don't you sum this one up for us?
Sure enough. So, again, just summing up this whole thing that your Facebook ads don't need to cost a fortune. Jim and I both have examples of things that we've tested, things that we've run that show you do not need to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. And the bottom line is, if you have the right audience, it's hard to screw up the message too badly. When you have the right audience, that's when it's easiest to sell to them. And if you have the right audience, you can have an okay ad with okay messaging and still be successful. This makes the audience the most important thing. And the bottom line is expensive ads are the result of either bad targeting or bad messaging to the right audience.
That makes a lot of sense. So I've seen a bunch of questions coming in. We do have some questions at the end, but we can take some questions at the end. So let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys enjoying the webinar so far? You got to let us know in the Q&A box. Are you enjoying this? Is this helpful? I saw a bunch of people saying things like they've never heard it explained this way, never saw targeting explained that way. A lot of yes, 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 absolutely, definitely. Some woohoos, couple hell yes. Absolutely. Super webinar. Great stuff. Over developing, strong content. Excellent info. Makes sense. You bet. All great. Okay.
So great.
We basically covered, you only have to know how to do a short list of things correctly to succeed with Facebook ads. There's only one objective you need to worry about, and that's traffic. And you only need about $20 to know if an ad will work or not. So who wants to take things to the next level? Who's ready to finally figure out Facebook ads, keep it simple, and get it done? And so put in the Q&A box, I'm ready, if you're ready to take things to the next level. So I'm seeing I'm ready. Yes. Somebody says, how much? We'll get to that. You know how this works. So yes, there will be a replay. Somebody says
you'll be shocked. You'll be actually shocked.
Yeah, you will.
Truly.
So we want to introduce to you guys the Simple FB Ads Home Study course. And this is all about helping you get your Facebook ads up and running the right way in record time so that you can make more sales and build your list fast without losing your precious time trying to crack the code of how to run ads the right way or wasting your hard-earned money on ads that don't work. And so at the core of this course is going to be 3 trainings. Module 1 is simple FB ads. This is getting started fast. Module 2 is let's run some ads. This is where we're going to actually teach you to run ads in real time. And then module 3 is troubleshooting and Q&A, what to do when things don't go perfectly. Each one of these live trainings carries a $297 value. And Arlene, just real quick, tell us a couple more bullets about what we're going to learn in each one of these trainings.
Absolutely. One of the things that Jim and I did with all of this is we talked about, okay, what's the reality for the entrepreneur, the small business owner? Look, we're all running businesses. We've got so much on our plate, and we're spending more time running our businesses than growing our businesses. And what we need is a fast and easy way to generate more leads and generate more sales. And so the way we've put this together is, all right, the fastest and easiest way for the small business owner to generate new leads and new sales. And so in the first module, we're going to tell you what the tools are that we're using to do our Facebook ads, most of which are free. Some of you may even be familiar with some of these, but it's like, okay, here's the slate of things. This is all you're going to need. And we're going to talk about how you really target an audience. Much like I gave you the 2 examples of the people that had totally screwed up their targeting, we're going to look at, okay, now realistically, how are you going to target an audience? And it's really quite simple. People just make it really complicated because of how they've learned how to do this stuff. And then we get into talking about what are you going to do with the Facebook pixel? This is the thing that drives people crazy. They don't understand it. And I'm going to explain in the simplest terms what that thing is, what it does for you, and how it's going to help you generate more leads and sales. We're going to talk about how you get your campaign set up the right way and how you get the foundation set up so your ads are going to work. In the second module, it's real time. We're going to set up real ads for you. We're going to take examples that people have given us and create those ads so you can see it. And so you don't have to learn a whole bunch of stuff. You can just say, oh, just do this, 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 and this, and now you're up and running. So we're going to give you specific examples of ads that have worked, a checklist for running your ads, and most important for all of us, we keep it really simple so you don't have to learn a billion things. Just like crap people are teaching, and we're saying, no, we're making this really simple. And in the last module, we have to look at, what's happening once you start running your ads, because once you test, if you find out that your ads are not working, what do you do? Because the testing is just the start of it. Once you get them dialed in, then you're golden. But it's not always the case that they work immediately. So what do you do when they're not working? Well, once you have some data, there are things that we do that are very, very simple that you do some minor tweaks and you're off and running. And so how do you get them performing? That's what we're going to be talking about. And then how do you troubleshoot 99% of the issues that people run into? Because there are really common things that people run into when they're running Facebook ads, and they're scratching their heads and they're asking everybody and nobody has the answer, and they're the most basic things. And if you understand what the nature of that problem is, then you can get them fixed. But most important, this is the bottom line for Jim and I and everything. We don't teach you anything you don't need to know. This is all about getting up and running, started fast and right.
Absolutely. So that's going to be 3 live trainings, and they have together a combined value of $891. And of course, if you only got that, it would be worth every single penny. But we have a few bonuses for you that we're going to throw in with the training. Bonus number 1, winning sample Facebook ads based on performance. We're going to show you specific ads that worked really, really well so that you can model them. Not just showing you any old ads that we picked off of Facebook or something like that. We're going to show you ads that really, really worked and explain how you can model them. So that means you're going to get the 3 trainings, plus you're going to get the winning sample Facebook ads, total value $1888. But here's the thing. Information alone isn't going to do it. We've shared for you with the last 75 minutes or so. We've shared a ton of information with you. But as you know, information alone isn't going to save you. You need this home study course because this is what's going to help you to get to the next level with your Facebook ads. So we're going to throw in another bonus as well, the ad targeting checklist. And so this is going to give you this is going to give you the thing that you can print off and have next to your desk when you're sitting down to create a new ad, and you can just walk through it step by step. and keep yourself on the right path. And the big thing here is we got to break some old habits, because most people have been on webinars like this in the past. You've gotten excited, you've gotten fired up, and what happens the next day? Probably for most of you, nothing. And it's sad because we just showed you guys some things that I've even seen in the Q&A box have revolutionized people's ideas about what it takes and how to be successful with Facebook ads and whether they can be successful with Facebook ads or not, and had some real insights here. But the thing is, most people are going to go back tomorrow and just keep doing the same old thing. And the only way you're going to be successful is if we figure out a way to break that habit right now. And the way you're going to break that habit is by investing in this course, getting started, and letting Arlene and me teach you guys how to use Facebook ads simply and effectively. And you will hear some things that will fly in the face of what you may have been taught in that $1,000 course you took, or that $500 a month coaching program that you went into. So again, you're going to get the 3-module home study course. That's actually going to be taught live the first time around. You're going to get the winning sample Facebook ads. You're going to get the ad targeting checklist, total value $23.85, and also we're throwing in another bonus, the follow-up profits email swipe file, which is going to give you a proven example you can follow for following up, because getting people into your follow-up sequence and once you've gotten them over to your website from Facebook is what's going to help to increase your ROI massively. So, and I'm seeing some people asking specific questions. We will get to those. People are asking, will it work for this? Will it work for that? We will get to those at the end, no problem. And at this point, guys, you got to look at it this way. People in life, they can have one of two things. They can either have money or they can have excuses, and that's okay. So right now you got two options. Option one, you can sign up, get your Facebook ads up and running in record time, start making more sales, building your list. Or option number two, you can come up with some kind of an excuse why you can't afford it, why you couldn't do it at this time, why you don't have enough time, whatever the excuse is today. That's fine. But in reality, you can't have both. You can either make money or you can make excuses. So again, you're going to get the 3 training modules. You're going to get the winning sample Facebook ads. You're going to get the ad targeting checklist. You're going to get the follow-up profits email swipe file, total value $28.82. And at this point, it's basically us versus them. All right. There are 2 kinds of people who show up on these webinars. The first one on the left is the person who thinks things are really cool, it makes sense, and they want to do it, but then in the end, they find some reason why they just can't take action. And the person on the right is the person who is going to be successful. So I got to ask you, do you want to be the person on the left, or do you want to be the person on the right? And this is your opportunity to say goodbye. This is your opportunity. This is the real deal. So if you've been trying to get your Facebook ads up and running the right way to make more sales and build your list, I want you to say it with me right now. I want you to say goodbye to losing your precious time trying to crack the code of how to run ads. Say goodbye to wasting your money, and say hello to actually making Facebook ads work. Because when you sign up for Simple FB Ads, you can say goodbye forever to whatever's been stopping you. And if Simple FB Ads doesn't help you with exactly how to get your Facebook ads up and running the right way in record time to make more sales and build your list without losing your precious time trying to crack the code of how to run ads the right way, or wasting your hard-earned money on ads that don't work, then we will refund your money. So again, you're going to get Module 1, which is the Get Started Fast training, the Module 2, which is the real-time ad training, Module 3, which is the troubleshooting and Q&A training, the sample Facebook ads, the ad targeting checklist, the follow-up profits email swipe file, total value $28.82. You can get started now with Simple FB Ads for just $197. That's it. So head on over to simplefbads.com/live special. That's simplefbads.com/live special. we're gonna put that in the, oh, Susan already put that in the Q&A box. People are like, somebody says, oh, hell no, that's a no-brainer. And then, oh, this is a great price. Are there any upsells? Yes, the upsell is, I'm upselling you on your future, on the future of your business, and on the future of your ability to take care of your family. That's the only upsell. So it's $197 and we don't bug the crap out of you to buy anything else. How's that? So simplefbads.com/live special. The cool thing is that you're going to get to do this with us live. Somebody put that in the Q&A box just to make sure that it's working. I mean, somebody click that and let us know that. In fact, I'll just test it real quick because it's working. Somebody says, please put the correct link in there. Somebody let me know it's working. Let's see.
Hey, Jen, while you're checking that,
they skipped the 1T. That's why it didn't work. Hang on. I just wanted to make sure. Yep.
Well, while you're doing that, Jim, let me say one thing about, when somebody's asking about the upsell. I was really adamant, and Jim was really adamant about this, that, for me as a business owner, I hate this crap where there are all these upsells and, you're wanting to get something, and then it's like, oh, but you need to get this, so you get all these extra things. And then it's after that, okay, well, let's see if we can try and get you into this and all this crap. And for me, that just annoys the hell out of me. And, it's a big turnoff for me. And from my perspective as somebody who's been doing Facebook ads and advertising and ad targeting for as long as Facebook has been in existence. I was first on Facebook when they only had 20 million people, and now there's 1.8 billion people. And so I was doing Facebook ads long before they had even invented advertising on Facebook. And what I know is that there are a lot of business owners out there who really need the ability to get up and running with their Facebook ads right now. They're busy running their businesses. They don't have a lot of time to learn a bunch of crap that is not going to get them any further along in what they're trying to do. And as is most often the case, they buy a course, they watch the first 2 or 3 modules, they get busy, they've wasted their money, and then along comes another thing for them to buy, and the same crap happens over and over and over again. And when Jim and I met at Funnel Hacking Live back in February, we decided, look, there is a need for people to just get the most basic important information to be running Facebook ads, so as business owners, they can get the job done and stay with the business of running their businesses. And that's why we've done this at the price that we have, because, we're not interested in charging $1,500 for this. Yeah, we could, absolutely. There's the value of that at that price. But the bottom line is there are so many people who need this. We needed to price this at a rate that was going to make it easy for people to get into it, get the information, and start making things happen and feel like this was the best thing they ever bought because got the job done for almost no money.
Well, there you go. That I couldn't get more passionate than that. And I agree with that 100%. So that's a wonderful, that's why we did it. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. And the thing is, this will eventually cost at least $297. We're just doing this for this one live webinar. Somebody asked, are there going to be replays? Yes. We're doing the webinar starting actually tomorrow, Tuesday, May 16th. If you can't be there, we'll have replays posted within 24 hours. Somebody asked, is there going to be a Q&A webinar? I have a feeling based on the number of questions we're getting here, the thought was we'd do the troubleshooting and Q&A webinar on webinar number 3.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling that we may end up doing an extra Q&A webinar maybe next week or something once everybody's had time to get in and do it. I don't think either of us would have a problem doing that.
Nope, absolutely.
So, and if there's a tool people need, or if there's something that's needed, this is the time to be in so that you can, ask. So that's the thing. We would love for you to be there live because, and somebody just said, I'm in, just purchased. Awesome. And people are asking a bunch of specific questions about will stuff work for this particular type of business on Facebook ads. And obviously we can't answer 100 of those on this webinar, but on those webinars, if you're asking specific questions, we will answer those specific questions. So you want to be in, you definitely need to get in. It's a no-brainer. So basically guys, and thank you for that impassioned, that was truly that was truly from the heart. That is the summation of the exact conversation that we had out there on
Yeah.
that terrace at Funnel Hacking Live, just saying there's too
Yep.
much crap, there's too much BS. They make it too complicated, and the people who are teaching it haven't actually really done it. And if they have done it, they
Yep.
can't teach it. So,
Yep.
because if they could teach it, people would be doing it.
Absolutely.
So basically, you got two choices. All right. You can take the red pill on the left, which means you can go, you can invest, you can get started. And in the next, well, really less than 72 hours from now, you can have the entire system up and running and working for your business. Or choice number two, you can take the pill on the right and you can end this webinar right now. You can go to bed tonight, and tomorrow you can wake up and do the exact same thing that you're doing right now. And I don't know about you, but the choice from the one on the right really has never made me happy. So if you have ever been frustrated with Facebook ads, if what we have talked about in this webinar resonates with you, the price is so low that you need to be on Facebook. We all know that. We know we need to be on there advertising. We know we need to be on there reaching our customers. This is your best shot to actually get it done this time. So as a reminder, you're going to get the simple FB ads, getting started fast training. You're going to get the real-time ad training. You're going to get the troubleshooting and Q&A training. You're going to get the winning sample FB ads, ad targeting checklist, the follow-up profits, email swipe file. You're probably going to get a whole bunch of other goodies that we're not even mentioning here. Total value $28.82. Again, get started right now. Just $197. One time, by the way, just a one-time payment. Somebody else, is this one time? Simple FB ads. Yeah. simplefbads.com/live special. And, you know, here's the thing. All right. Right now, you have no idea how to crack the code of how to run ads the right way on Facebook or stop wasting your hard-earned money on ads. Because if you did, you wouldn't be here. All right. But later, after you've been through this course, all those problems are gone. They evaporate. And you can concentrate on getting your Facebook ads up and running the right way in record time and making more sales and building your list. That's the power of what we're going to teach you in the Simple FB Ads course. So let's hit a few of these questions and stuff. Somebody said, what if we want to pay $197 a month? Please do.
Yeah, we do not object to taking your money, but as
That's
a
right.
business owner myself, in the e-commerce world, in the world of selling online as a physical product seller, there's nothing that makes me more crazy than having to spend a lot of money for stuff that isn't productive for me. And Jim and I have made this commitment that we want to make sure that people who have these businesses have the ability to get what they need for not a lot of money so that they can just get out there and get the work done so they can quit screwing around and not have to think about this anymore. We just want results, and we don't care how we get them. And that's what this course does. It gets you the information you need very quickly. You don't have to have a big, huge time investment in learning any of this stuff because you're going to see exactly how it works. All you have to do is just follow how it works and you're done. It's that simple. There's nothing more that you need to learn.
All right. Excellent. That's excellent. So I'm going to whip through some of these questions real quick. We've run over time and I don't want to do too much, but will you concentrate on targeting? Yes.
Absolutely.
Will there be replays? Yes. Will you be available for updates to the course? We hadn't really talked about it, but I would assume, yeah. I mean, we're not just going to walk away from it.
As Facebook makes changes to things, that would be incorporated here. But the reality is that the things that you learn and how to get yourself up and running and doing what you need to do, those are not the things that Facebook is going to be changing.
Right.
So that's why we've made it so simple. You're just going to be productive and effective, and then all these other stupid tweaks that Facebook is making to Ads Manager and everything else, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's not relevant. You just need to do the most simple and easiest things, and you're off and running and making money and generating leads.
And if they massively change the interface, we'll make an update video, so no worry.
Sure enough.
How will we have access to the modules and for how long? It'll be in a membership site, and you'll have them for as long as we keep the site up. I'm not going to say lifetime or anything like that. I mean, I've got stuff that's been online for 20 years, so I think we can keep our server going. Are we going to talk about how you can control geographic location and where an ad is run? Can we talk about that during the course? Okay.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
A lot of people saying just bought, can't wait. I'm in, just purchased. Somebody asking specific questions. Will you actually critique our ads? I didn't know that we had actually talked about critiquing ads, but that'd be fun to do, like as a moving forward, like as a promo thing for the course. I could see us critiquing ads and posting them and using them to drive traffic. Would be kind of a neat thing to do.
Absolutely. I've done both critiquing of ads and landing pages and email sequences so that people understand where they're going off the rails. And in fact, one of the books that I wrote, and Jim, we've talked about this in the past, is just, what you absolutely have to have as a minimum to make sure that you are going to be effective in your online presence. And so Jim and I both have a lot of expertise, both in analyzing ads or critiquing them, Jim especially on the copy side. So between the two of us, you have a pretty potent combination to help you with this stuff. So, yeah, right. I think that would be a great thing for us to do, Jim.
Now, let's draw kind of a line in the sand here, too, because we're not charging you $25,000 a year. So who provides support for a specific questions about the product we're selling? What if we follow steps and our product simply isn't taking off? Here's the thing. We're teaching you how to run Facebook ads and do that the right way. We're not going to critique your funnel. We're not going to critique your product. We're not going to analyze your sales copy on your website, and we're not going to fix your business. Not for $197. Okay. So I just want to draw that line right there. But we will answer specific questions about Facebook ads and stuff like that. But we can't critique your website. Sorry. Will there be someone we can actually ask questions to if we run into a snag? And will this training walk us through the steps of placing a Facebook ad? Of course, we'll walk you through the steps of placing a Facebook ad. We're going to be spending a whole entire training on that. You'll be able to ask questions in the Q&A webinar. And we're happy to answer questions about the Facebook ads with the stuff that we teach about Facebook. But again, can't help you with your shopping cart, with your funnel, with that kind of stuff. Will we cover ads for e-commerce? We're going to teach you, we're not just going to hand you a fish, we're going to teach you how to fish. And so it doesn't really matter what you're selling as long as you are solving a problem or satisfying a desire for a specific audience of people. Those people are most likely on Facebook. So whether it's, and again, e-commerce, it's kind of like, will your cover ads for books? E-commerce is a giant, all-encompassing thing. Obviously, you're not selling e-commerce. You're selling a specific product, service, coaching, or some other something that satisfies a desire or or solves a problem. So,
and Jim, if I can weigh in on this, I think I can probably answer a question that is common to many people. Will this work for me? Absolutely. I don't think I have yet run into a type of business, product, service, whatever you have that you are selling that cannot be sold on Facebook. If you have a product that sells directly to the consumer and you're not selling to another business, like let's say, for example, you're in the home construction business and you're trying to sell lumber to a home building company, Facebook is not the place for that. But the majority of people, 99% of the people out there that are selling anything are using Facebook to do it. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. It just simply comes down to, like Jim said, what is the problem that you're solving for people? What is the pain that they are experiencing that you have a solution for? What is the emotional need that they have that what you're selling can meet? It's very simple. It really just comes down to how we put these things together and present them to the consumer. So you do not need to worry about whether or not this will work for you. It absolutely will.
Now, this is a good question, and I don't know, you'll need to answer this. Some topics, i.e. weight loss and making money online, are frowned upon by Facebook. Will there be training on how to best run these types of ads?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, weight loss is a big thing that I'm going to be addressing in the training, because there are ways that it applies to weight loss, it applies to nutritional supplements, it applies to anything that has to do with medical related things that people are selling. And there have been very common traditional ways that those things have been sold on Facebook that Facebook has now been banning. because they consider them to be violating their terms of service. And so I'm going to give you a very specific example of how you sell weight loss products in a way that Facebook cannot prevent you from selling them. And that may be one of the most important things that you get out of this particular training is when you're selling something that Facebook frowns upon, like nutritional supplements, you just have to get really clever about your ads. And that's something that I'm going to show you.
Cool. You answered a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to put this in the, if you're having any issues with signing up, or if you did sign up and you put in your email wrong, or if you, if you're having any kind of an issue, go to our help desk, which is ebookfiresupport.com. And I just put that in the Q&A box, and you'll be able to contact the help desk, and they'll get you straight. Somebody said, now somebody's freaking out about B2B. My business is 100% B2B. What about reaching retail business owners? Okay, here's the thing, and I'm going to let Arlene answer, and then we're going to have to wrap this up. What the hell do you think is behind a business? A person, okay? A business doesn't buy, a person at a business buys, all right? And so I get kind of irritated when I hear people say, oh, I only sell to businesses. Bullshit. You sell to a person at a business, all right? That's probably why you're having a problem. So it's people. We help people solve problems and satisfy desires. That's how we make money. And running ads is how you reach those people with your message so that you can help them solve that problem or satisfy that desire. So I will let you answer that one, and then we got to wrap it up. Arlene? I think we lost Arlene. Okay, well, there was something going on with her phone. So I guess I will just kind of wrap it up because I don't know what happened to my friend. So basically, class starts tomorrow, Tuesday, at 3 o'clock Eastern. If you can't make it live, that's fine. We will have replays. This price of $197 is going to be available pretty much until we're done teaching the class on Thursday. So if you want to miss the first one or miss the second one or miss the third one, you can get it at $197 until we are done. I would imagine that each class will probably be somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. Because we're not going, obviously we can't teach you the nature of the universe in 30 minutes. So we're going to teach you, and we're going to make sure you understand, and we're going to create the best value and the best class that you have ever seen on this topic. And if you know myself or Arlene, you know that we're very concerned with delivering value and making sure people get multiple times value what they pay. And so this is going to be absolutely no exception. Arlene, did you make it back in?
Not sure if you can hear me, Jim.
I can hear you.
Oh my gosh, you can actually hear me.
I can. So do you want to,
sorry about that.
That's fine. Any last thoughts, and we're going to wrap this up.
I got cut off right at the point about the question about the B&B and everything. And one of the beauties of Facebook is the type of targeting that's available.
Not B&B, but B2B, business to business.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry, excuse me. B2B is the ability to directly target those business owners based on the way they've self-described as the owner of a certain type of business. So B2B selling is not inherently problematic. It just really depends on what that specific product is, but it's very, very easy to sell B2B for sure.
Awesome. Okay, guys, this is your final call to action. Head over to simplefbads.com/live special. Sign up. Bunch of people are in, and we will look forward to seeing you live on the first training on Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Again, if you can't make it, we will have a replay within 24 hours, and we'll be doling out all the goodies to you as we go. There was no sense in giving children firearms and matches and firecrackers, so the bonuses will be loaded up as we're doing the training. Okay, cool. So just get in, relax, get a good night's sleep, and we will see you at 3 o'clock. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon.